Welcome back, everyone. Today, Alex and I are discussing a really intriguing topic, the role of AI in recruiting and how it's potentially replacing up to 90% of the work traditionally done by recruiters. Let's get into it. Alex, you mentioned seeing an ad about a recruiting platform claiming that AI can replace 90% of a recruiter's work. Can you elaborate on what caught your attention?
I think that what caught my attention in this particular ad, Tyler, was that the idea that the computers could replace or that AI would take over 90% of this work. And I thought, yeah, that's the work that is slowing down recruiters, is keeping recruiters from engaging with more candidates. And I think that sounds like a really impressive feat, but I would argue that it's almost like the 80-20 rule, except that we could call it the 90-10 rule. And I would say that 90% of the effectiveness of a recruiter comes from 10% of the things that a recruiter does. In this case, and you hear me talk about it over and over again, it is about the human connection. It's about what happens when the candidate answers the phone. It's about the kinds of conversations that recruiters are having with candidates that lead long-term impact. These are the things that really move the needle on how our candidate funnels perform. It's really about human interaction. And there is zero chance that in the near term, human beings are going to have the kinds of emotionally resonant conversations that are necessary for them to make big career moves with a computer.
That's a great point, Alex. So the AI can handle the more repetitive, time-consuming tasks that bog down recruiters, but the real magic happens in those human interactions. The AI essentially frees up recruiters to focus on the part of the job that truly matters, the personal connections and conversations. I guess the question then becomes, how should businesses and HR leaders think about integrating AI into their recruiting processes? How can they balance the efficiency gains from AI with the need for genuine human interaction?
I think that this is a tremendous opportunity for recruiting HR leaders because they can recruit. If they put in systems that enable recruiters to work more seamlessly on their connection with their candidate pool and spend less time doing the kind of monotonous data entry, planning, repetitive task work, what they can do is they can attract a different kind of recruiter to their team that can be much more effective. And this is something that we've seen. In order for us to get really efficient and effective in our recruiting process, we had to standardize things. And then we followed the guidance of Ari Meisel's optimize, automate, and outsource. And the idea was essentially let's free up our time to spend as much time on what we call our domain of maximum value, which is recruiters, is the time that we're spending talking with candidates and really having conversations, not just talking to them, but focused on their motivation and what we call their career gap.
That's a solid strategy, Alex. So by leveraging AI to handle the repetitive tasks, HR leaders can create a more efficient recruiting process. This allows recruiters to focus on what you call their domain of maximum value, those meaningful conversations with candidates. It sounds like the key is to standardize and streamline the process so that recruiters can really hone in on understanding candidates' motivations and career gaps. How about we break this down into actionable steps for our listeners? Maybe we can outline a few practical ways to integrate AI while still emphasizing the importance of human connection.
I think that if AI is totally new to you and you might have played with ChatGPT or Claude or whatever Microsoft's offering is, if you're totally new to that, I wouldn't be focused on AI. I would be focused on automation. I think the place to get the most value out of automation is how quickly can you respond to candidates and how quickly can you get them on your calendar. So I think that the first automations that I would be focused on are the automations that are reaching out to candidates once they've applied for a job or they've responded to your outreach to get them on the calendar to talk to you.
That makes a lot of sense, Alex. So for those just starting out, the first step isn't necessarily diving into AI, but focusing on automation to streamline the initial stages of contact. Here are a few actionable steps for our listeners. 1, automate initial outreach. Set up automated emails or messages that respond to candidates as soon as they apply or respond to your outreach. This ensures quick engagement. 2, calendar scheduling. Implement tools that allow candidates to book time directly on your calendar. This reduces the back and forth of scheduling and gets candidates talking to you faster. 3, standardize processes. Create templates and workflows for common tasks to ensure consistency and efficiency in your recruiting process. 4, optimize before automating. Look at your current processes and identify areas for improvement before layering on automation. Make sure you're not automating inefficient processes. By focusing on these steps, you'll not only improve efficiency, but also ensure that recruiters can dedicate more time to those valuable human interactions. What do you think, Alex? Anything else you'd add to this list?
No, I think that's great. Let's wrap it there.
All right, it sounds good. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Today, we explored how AI and automation can revolutionize the recruiting process by freeing up recruiters to focus on meaningful human interactions. Remember, start with automating the basics and gradually integrate AI to enhance your efficiency. Until next time, keep optimizing and stay tuned for more insights. Thanks, Alex, for the great discussion.